I absolutely love ice cream. Unfortunately, dairy does not love me. And so, where and when possible, I try to use dairy-free options. And one such thing is actually sorbet, where I feel like I get the sweetness of dessert, but while avoiding the problems and consequences of dairy. And I feel like I'm not missing out. My favorite sorbet flavors, or at least the ones that I've tried so far, are raspberry and mango. And so this here is a mango sorbet recipe that I've developed that uses an alternative sweetener. So it's not just dairy free, but it's actually low in sugar. It's perfect for the summertime, uses just a few ingredients, and comes together very easily. Let's get into it. Alright, so now here I have our blender, and I'm going to start out with our liquids first. So we have that in the base of the blender. So I'm going to pour in about a cup of water. You might not need all of it. I have 2 cups, but I'm just going to start with 1 for now. And to this, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Let's do 3. And now we're going to add our fruit. And you could use fresh. I'm using frozen just for the convenience of it. And also, frozen fruit tends to be frozen pretty soon after it's picked. Whereas fresh fruit, it has to travel and all this kind of stuff. And unless it's the season, I feel like the quality of fruit, as far as like the sweetness and the flavor, can be pretty hit or miss. But I find that generally frozen fruit, especially from some particular brands, is pretty dependable. So we've got that in our blender, and now I'm going to start blending it. Got my little spoon here. And just get down in the bottom there. And actually, while I have this open, I'm going to add a bit of the sweetener. And now, I've started with 3 tablespoons, and this is alternative sweetener that I'm using, allulose. But the amount that you use is really going to be dependent on how sweet your fruit is. So if your fruit isn't that sweet, you'll need a little bit more. If your fruit is very sweet, you can use a bit less. And then also it's to your particular taste. So I would say don't just dump all of the sweetener in. Add a little bit, give it a taste. If you still need more, add a bit, because you can put in, but you can't take out. Let's see this again with the spoon. I'm going to add in the rest of the mango. And also the rest of that water. And I'll put some more of the sweetener. And blend it for a bit longer. I'm going to give it a taste. It's actually a little bit watery, so I'm going to come back, and I've got some more mango. This is about 1/4 to a 1/2 pound of the mango, and I'll just add that in. And this is also frozen. stir, getting down to the bottom. This blender, I didn't use it. It sometimes develops like an air pocket at the bottom, which can prevent it from blending. And flavor-wise, I think we're there. It's sweet, it's a bit tart. The flavor is really going to be dependent on your fruit. But I'm liking it. I'm just going to blend it a bit more just to make sure that it's nice and smooth. Alright, that looks to be just about perfect. And it tastes great. Nice, bright, citrusy flavor. And now this next step is completely optional, but this is a frozen recipe where you might want to consider adding just a little bit of alcohol. The reason being that alcohol won't freeze. It'll get cold, but won't freeze. And so by adding it in, it'll allow the sorbet to get cold, but it'll stop it from like freezing rock solid. But again, it's completely optional. To get around that, all you would have to do is just to let it sit for a little bit. And so I'm just adding a few tablespoons of some pineapple flavored vodka. You can use like a coconut rum or something along those lines. I would just say like nothing cream based unless you're trying to turn it into like a creamsicle kind of situation. So something mango flavored, pineapple flavored, coconut, and not enough to make it completely boozy or to where it's going to stay liquid, just a little splash to keep it from freezing rock solid. And now we'll just give it another little blend. And we're good to go. I'm going to give it a taste. And that's actually quite perfect. The alcohol, it's like just a little tip to add where it adds a little flavor, but you don't actually get like a heavy liquor taste or anything like that. So that's perfect. I've got this little container here. It's like a freezer-safe container in which you can put ice cream, sorbet, and whatnot. And it has like a double wall, so sort of an insert situation. And this is what I'm going to freeze the sorbet in. I'll include the link in the recipe description. We'll just pour in our sorbet. We'll just pop our lid on. Snaps into place, and this will go into the freezer.
Thanks for tuning in. To ensure you don't miss any episodes, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, and check out my cooking at home playlist. Go ahead and click that thumbs up button if you like what you saw, and go ahead and share it on social media.